Hey guys, buckle up for some spine-chilling real-life horror as we dive into 4 terrifying stories featuring demonic exorcisms, ghostly doppelgangers, shadowy entities, and spirits that just won't let go. Several years back, my great-aunt, who we'll refer to as Lucy, died in Tijuana, Baja California. Relatives claim she departed this life during the evening of her exorcism. Prior to her death, her actions grew so bizarre that the family chose to summon a clergyman. Upon examining her, the priest demanded that an exorcism occur without delay. The ceremony was set for 3 days afterward, which fell on a Friday. The following day, Lucy's distant sister, whom we'll name Sophia, arrived for a visit. As she neared the residence, Sophia experienced a disturbing discomfort. During their conversation, she felt as if she were addressing an unfamiliar individual. Even Lucy's tone of voice seemed altered. In the restroom, Sophia noticed items that appeared linked to sorcery or ceremonial practices. Nevertheless, she remained to assist her sibling and aid her young nieces, considering Lucy's state. As she assisted with tidying the home, Sophia received a caution from Lucy's girls to avoid a specific chamber. She thought it could be tied to witchcraft. Curiously, she sensed a sinister energy repelling her each time she walked past that room's entrance. Upon rejoining Lucy, Sophia observed her whispering unclear phrases and repeatedly jabbing her finger deep into her nostril, leading to blood flow. Subsequently, the priest disclosed that Lucy had been chanting a demon's name. Following her muddled expressions, she concluded with the term maestro. Unusual incidents occurred during Lucy's burial service. Individuals abruptly lost track of their recitations halfway through, and an unaccountable chill and gloom permeated the sanctuary. Numerous participants remained ignorant of the circumstances preceding her demise. Interestingly, the majority congregated outdoors, with only a handful staying indoors close to her remains for extended periods. While my grandfather headed back from the ceremony, offering prayers for Lucy's spirit, the indicators on his vehicle's panel suddenly blinked erratically, and objects in the rear compartment shifted abruptly to the opposite side. That same evening at my grandmother's place, my uncle and I awoke at the same moment near 3 o'clock in the morning. When he investigated a sound from a water container, it roused my grandmother. From her bedroom with the doorway ajar, she had a view of us. At that point, we all spotted the same thing, a lofty, murky silhouette drifting beyond the window on the upper floor. In order to prevent frightening me, my grandmother and uncle convinced me it was insignificant and instructed me to return to sleep. We described our sighting to family members, confident it wasn't our own reflections, since no illumination existed to produce them. Once home, we detailed the uncanny happenings to my aunt, who had missed the funeral. Amid our discussion, the illumination failed, an event that had never taken place previously. Even now, discussions about Lucy trigger odd happenings. Prior to beginning, allow me to explain. I possess 4 siblings, and I am the junior one. An age difference exceeding 8 years divides us, and we differ significantly. My second elder sister, Victoria, possesses an extraordinary talent. She is able to perceive and interact with apparitions. I possess numerous anecdotes from our upbringing together. I'm uncertain about the exact moment she became aware of her talents, but eerie occurrences have consistently surrounded her. Our mother provided strong encouragement. Being of Mexican heritage, we were raised amid numerous beliefs and myths, and my personal early brushes with the otherworldly turned me into a firm adherent. During childhood, we relocated frequently owing to economic difficulties or as our mother became weary of particular locations. In one one particular year, when I was likely attending preschool or even earlier, indeed quite young, we shifted to a duplex, probably the most spacious dwelling we had occupied. It featured 4 sleeping quarters. The pair of senior sisters each claimed a private space. The twins occupied one jointly, and I shared with my mother because I feared resting solo. Following the relocation, our grandmother, residing in close proximity, joined us briefly to aid in organizing and supervising us as our mother juggled 3 occupations and seldom appeared at home. The backyard of the duplex was encircled by forest, rendering it particularly spooky after dark. On a certain evening, with our mother yet at her job, we consumed supper, washed up, and prepared for rest. All were slumbering given her delayed return. Victoria occupied her space solo with the radio activated, dozing. As our mother began drifting off, she detected Victoria's cries calling her. She hastened to the area, thrust the entrance wide, illuminated the space, and inquired about the issue. Annoyed, Victoria responded, "Mother, instruct Selena to retire now. She's disturbing my rest and tampering with the radio. I am Selena, the littlest." Right then, I slumbered deeply beside our grandmother, envisioning sweets and brats figures. Perplexed, our mother stated, "Victoria, what do you mean? Selena is resting with grandmother in my quarters." Victoria rejected this. "Mother, Selena stands directly behind you near the radio. Why can't you spot her?" Our mother scanned the vicinity. Empty. "Victoria, it was probably a dream. The hour is late. I'm fatigued. Return to slumber." While departing, Victoria remarked, "Selena, simply join mother for sleep." Our mother disregarded it and went back to her quarters, where our grandmother and I rested. She verified if I pretended, but I slept soundly. It appeared peculiar, yet exhaustion prevented further thought, so she attempted rest again. From Victoria's viewpoint now, she dozed when she detected an entity. The radio commenced malfunctioning, irritating her as she invariably adjusted it to a reliable channel for overnight tunes. As the interference continued, she awoke and noticed me positioned by the radio, palm upon it. In youth, I featured lengthy, wavy locks and light complexion, and for bedtime, I donned an oversized shirt or sleepwear. Victoria observed a child resembling me, clad in a pale, extended-sleeve nightdress. Irritated, assuming I meddled with her device, she uttered, "Selena, what's your intent? Head to bed." Yet no reply came. She queried, "Desire to rest alongside me?" The child remained mute, manipulating the radio. "Selena, cease handling the radio. Proceed to bed, or I'll inform mother." Receiving no acknowledgement, Victoria yelled for our mother. She clarified her frustration stemmed from my disobedience, and that our mother failed to notice me present. Rising to smack me, she perceived an anomaly. Sickness overcame her, pulse accelerated. The child mimicking me was not myself. She emitted a frightening vibe. Victoria retreated, incapable of diverting her gaze, and commenced weeping. The child advanced toward her, prompting Victoria to shriek loudly. At that stage, the household stirred. Our mother erupted into the space to assess the situation. Victoria wept, reiterating, "Mother, I'm unaware of her identity." Our mother glimpsed the child adjacent to the radio peripherally. Upon direct gaze, the child locked eyes, paralyzing our mother with terror. My additional siblings clustered near Victoria, attempting to soothe her, yet puzzled, since solely our mother and Victoria perceived the child. I roused from our mother's sharp intake as she exited hastily. I lack memory of Victoria's yells, but recall our grandmother, concerned, lifting me toward the disturbance. Victoria refused to settle, and our mother became increasingly distressed, uncertain how to manage a child resembling her junior offspring yet not. Our grandmother perceived nothing but detected a burdensome, adverse aura. She persistently inquired about events while comforting them. Eventually, our mother bellowed at the child, "What's your desire? Depart this dwelling." Detecting a phantom, our grandmother placed me aside and retrieved sacred water. She came back, nudged our mother away, and dispersed it throughout the space. Victoria noted that upon the liquid striking the child by the radio, she emitted a dreadful, unnatural wail, audible only to her and our mother. Our mother described the noise as causing her heart to surge. It ranked as the eeriest sound she encountered. She experienced queasiness and shivers. Victoria sensed a humming in her skull and swelling in her eyes. Our grandmother directed all to the vehicle. Our mother and Victoria appeared stunned. Thus, my senior sibling and the twins assisted their exit. I retain little since our grandmother seated me in the vehicle initially. I merely remember occupying it as others entered. My siblings and grandmother repeatedly questioned what they observed, striving to pacify them. Our mother continually uttered, "I'm clueless about that entity." Victoria echoed, "It wasn't Selena. I'm ignorant of its identity." All felt confused due to their ambiguous responses. Following several moments to regain composure, Victoria shrieked once more, observing the child dashing toward the vehicle, now elevated with extended tresses. Our mother emerged from stupor and accelerated from the area. We proceeded to our grandmother's residence, quiet briefly. Victoria feared glancing outside the window, yet was drawn to peek. She witnessed the child pursuing the vehicle, crying out, "Mother, she pursues us." Our mother ceased perceiving her, but remained horrified. My siblings embraced Victoria, preventing her from viewing outward. Approaching our grandmother's, our mother declared, "Upon parking, dash to the residence swiftly. Avoid glancing rearward." As a youngster amid alarmed kin, I too became frightened. I desired to weep, yet felt overly perplexed. They claimed it was myself, yet it wasn't, and comprehension evaded me. At our grandmother's, my uncle resided there alongside our grandparents, viewing a film when we intruded. I lack detailed recollection afterward, but remember consuming water prior to our grandmother settling me for rest. Resting near her, I swiftly entered profound slumber. Our mother and siblings presumably clarified matters to my uncle and grandfather. We lingered there for several weeks till our mother secured fresh accommodations. Our duration in the duplex spanned perhaps a month, largely at our grandparents'. The enigma of the child resembling me and her spectral existence stays unresolved. We avoided probing. Our mother and sibling were excessively terrified to explore the site's background. I am Lucy, and I have possessed sensitivity to the ethereal realm since approximately age 3. I hold innumerable spooky narratives, but I will recount one of the most frightening. It transpired in my native town, Jackpot, Nevada, at age 14. I resided alongside my parents and elder sibling, 9 years older, in a dual-width trailer home within a tiny community where 5 gambling establishments provided jobs for all. By that point, I had encountered numerous uncanny and terrifying episodes. This commenced during the summer of 2003, amid heat reaching 100 degrees, with folks relishing the warmth. Our abode initially comprised a 2-chamber trailer, the lounge at the entry, my siblings' quarters and primary washroom on the right, and the lounge extending toward the kitchen on the left. My chamber was added subsequently. Its entrance, formerly the rear access to the yard, equipped with a compact frosted pane allowing visibility of those passing. I often lingered in my space, enjoying tunes from Selena. Whenever my parents traveled for provisions an hour distant, I remained solo. I detected sounds resembling rattling utensils or hefty items being pulled, picturing an individual dragging a corpse. The illumination wavered, and the atmosphere chilled so intensely that my exhalation became visible, despite lacking cooling systems. My pulse thumped fiercely, and the fine strands on my nape rose during those pulling noises. I would linger outdoors until my parents arrived, feeling immense relief upon sighting our azure vehicle approaching with supplies. I enjoyed a joyful youth and was a daring youngster, yet I loathed twilight. Worry intensified, and I dreaded retiring, detecting apprehension in my chamber. My single bed, positioned against the barrier facing the entrance's pane, where lunar glow formed an inherent night illumination. One evening near 10, I perceived footfalls originating from the lounge heading to the kitchen, advancing gradually. I assumed it was my sibling gearing up for his evening duty. The paces halted, then neared my entrance. Reclining beneath my cover, I observed lunar light softly brightening the space. An impulse compelled me to glance at the entrance's pane. A silhouette approached, and terror seized me, my form growing frigid. I discerned a slender female in somber attire, possessing lengthy matted ebony strands. Her visage appeared pallid and creased, her slender palms pressed upon the pane. My pulse accelerated. She lacked eyes, merely ebony, vacant cavities, and her lips stretched broadly in a mute, dreadful shriek. I remained immobilized, incapable of summoning aid. She gazed at me for an eternity-like duration, although probably mere moments. My respiration grew faint from the terror. The silhouette gradually withdrew, and she dissipated. My sibling frequently observed a comparable silhouette sneaking into his space nocturnally. He would awaken, breathless, bearing a substantial burden on his torso, resembling a female reclining upon him. He would command her departure, and upon commencing supplication, she would escape swiftly. On alternate evenings, he would detect a crunchy entity ascending his bed, nearing him. Supplication expelled the silhouette. This persisted nightly for roughly 3 years until my mother, likewise attuned to spirits, arranged for the dwelling's consecration. Participating in worship and scriptural sessions assisted greatly. We discovered that limpias de huevo, egg purifications, granted short-term alleviation but failed to resolve the matter. Certain individuals might contest this, given its role in our traditional practices. However, egg purification represents an intricate ceremony that unlocks a gateway, welcoming uninvited entities akin to exposed reflectors, screens, divination decks, or Ouija panels. I honor diverse convictions, yet based on my ethereal encounters, a resonant, devout invocation can expel whatever torments you. That sightless spectral female ceased harassing us. This event transpired several months prior at my closest companion's residence. I never trusted in phantoms or the supernatural until my acquaintance, a psychic, acquainted me with it. She recounted episodes from her existence in Texas and Arkansas. That afternoon, following classes, I visited her location. Later that night, post-meal, we proceeded to her chamber. I described the prior evening. My sibling's partner visited, positioned on the ground with her device, while I occupied my bed with mine. Abruptly, I sensed compression on my rear and soles, resembling an embrace from behind, even though footwear adorned my feet. Upon recounting this, my companion indicated an entity adhered to me. I commenced quivering without control, powerless to halt. She perceived a gentleman in his 50s, an acquaintance of mine, yet I lacked knowledge of any departed intimates. She proposed I had performed or uttered something prompting his attachment. I failed to recollect anything. She recommended commanding his departure. I clutched her arms and uttered, "Please, depart." The quivering halted immediately. I had never experienced such fright. The subsequent day, we examined photographs at my abode and discovered one of my grandfather, whom I never encountered. My companion asserted with certainty, "That's him." Thanks so much for watching these creepy tales. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, drop a comment with your own spooky story, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. See you in the next one.